It is very sad to say that Pele, the legend, the soccer king, passed away on December 29th, 2022. There is no doubt that Pele was the greatest footballer of all time. And while it may seem strange to hear, Pele was crowned the world's king of soccer. However, many of our young athletes may be unaware of just how Pele changed the football world with his football magic. Pele left his imprint on the entire world when there were no social media, no internet, no real televisions around. Pele emerged as the face of soccer, with his images appearing on the front pages of newspapers and magazines around the globe. Pele did not just stop there. He also acted in movies and even started singing. But as we progress through this video, it will become apparent how Pele changed the soccer world forever. But before beginning our legend story, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so that you can be notified of such interesting videos every time. His real name was Edson Arantes do Nascimento, and everyone at home called him by his nickname, Dico. Pele was named after America's famous inventor, Thomas Edison. You'd be surprised to know that his friends, not his family, gave him the name Pele, as Pele couldn't pronounce the name of his favorite footballer, Vasco da Gama's goalkeeper, Pele, correctly. He always referred to Pele as Pele, and that's why he became known as Pele. Now, Pele grew up watching his father, who was also a football player, so he was always interested in it. Pele, however, had to work at a small tea stall since childhood to help support his family's expenses due to his birth in a poor family. Pele's family was actually so poor that they couldn't even afford to buy a football. He used to fill his socks with newspaper and play football that way. That display just shows how creative in not only football but also in his everyday life he really was. In 1956, at the age of 15, he joined Santos FC, where his professional football career began. He improved his talent and skills while playing for Santos FC, and due to his excellent performance in the Brazilian League, he made his international debut in the Brazilian national football team in 1957, playing against Argentina in the World Cup in 1958. And after joining the national team, Pele's career took off in ways that even he could not have predicted. Pele won his first major championship with Santos in 1958, when the team won the Campeonato Paulista, Brazil's top flight league. He finished the tournament as the tournament's top scorer with 58 goals, a record that still stands today. And this was just the start of his unbreakable streak. Such records made it into the Guinness Book of World Records and are extremely difficult to break, even today. Pele was the world's youngest football player in 1958 World Cup. He was the youngest to score a hat-trick in the World Cup, the youngest to score 2 goals in the final, and the youngest to win the World Cup for Brazil. When the final whistle blew, he collapsed on the ground and sobbed because he had kept his promise to his father that he would win the World Cup for him and complete his father's unfulfilled dream. Can you believe that? Pele was only 18 when he won the World Cup, and he still had a whole career ahead of him to make himself even greater, which he did admirably. Now, Pele has been cherished by major European football clubs such as Real Madrid, Juventus, and Manchester United since the 1958 World Cup. These clubs also attempted to sign Pele several times, but Santos FC refused to let him leave. Santos fans wanted to see Pele play in the Brazilian League, so Brazilian President Jânio Quadros declared that Pele a national treasure in 1961, making Pele ineligible to play for any foreign club. Now, it would have been a crime for any football club to try to sign Pele. The higher Pele's career went, the more records he set, and because of this, he got the nickname the King of Soccer. Pele was a standard in and of itself. Even today, soccer players improve their games by watching his games. Pele participated in 4 World Cups, winning 3 of them in 1958, 1962, and 1970, making him the player with the most trophies. He is the one and only player in the world to have won 3 World Cups. In addition to the numerous records and awards he received throughout his long career, he also made a name for himself at Brazil in the World Cup. And he wasn't alone, as he was assisted by Mario Zagallo, Garrincha, Didi, Vava, Nilton Santos, Yalma Santos, Rivellino, and Tostão. But Pele was unquestionably the brightest star in at least 2 World Cups in 1958 and 1970. Pele not only set World Cup records, but he also won numerous National League awards. Pele won the Campeonato Paulista League 10 times with Santos, and the Campeonato Brasileiro Series 6 times. In addition, he won the Intercontinental Cup twice and the Intercontinental Super Cup once. These were his club's trophies. If his personal awards and achievements were included, there would be so many that the list would be several pages long. Nonetheless, some of his most notable achievements include titles such as the Campeonato Paulista League top scorer 11 times, FIFA World Cup best youngest player 1958, Copa America top scorer 1959, FIFA World Cup Golden Ball 1970, and South American Footballer of the Year 1973. Even after retiring, he received major honors such as World Team of the 20th Century 1998, FIFA Player of the Century 2000, and FIFA 100 Greatest Living Footballers 2004. Even today, when Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Neymar, or Kylian Mbappe break world records, we should keep in mind that they are only breaking Pele's records. Ronaldo himself has stated that when Pele talks, the entire world listens. It's impossible not to become emotional when such a wonderful person expresses his love and admiration for me. A true sports legend, an eternal hero, and a myth for all generations. As he wisely stated, we are all on the same team, the football team. Thank you very much, Pele. I hope to see you soon so we can laugh together and talk about the game we both enjoy. When so many big players regard Pele as their idol, how can he not be the greatest footballer of all time? Pele was remembered for his life off the field, for transcending the sport of soccer and becoming perhaps the most well-known person on the planet. According to Pele, his greatest pride was achieving a ceasefire in Nigeria's ongoing civil war through his game of football back in 1969. And because of his aggressive playing style and continuous performances in the World Cup, he was nicknamed Ore, or the King. Even the greatest football players of the 20th century could not compete with Pele, who once even said Pele was the only footballer who surpassed the boundaries of logic. Now, among the most successful and popular sports figures of the 20th century, Pele is one of the most praised players in football history and has frequently been listed as the best player ever. But as the saying goes, every good thing, every good era has an end. And Pele, the living legend's era, ended on December 29th, 2022. He died of cancer, and for some, the new year of 2023 will be a time of joy. But for Pele's followers, it will be a time of grief. Current Brazil forward Neymar wrote after the soccer legend died on Thursday at the age of 82, "Before Pele, 10 was just a number. That beautiful line is incomplete. Before Pele, soccer was just a sport, in my opinion. Pele changed everything. He elevated soccer to the level of art and entertainment. He gave the poor, the black, and above all, Brazil, a voice. Soccer in Brazil have risen above all thanks to the king. He's gone, but his magic will live on. Pele revolutionized soccer. He brought joy and skill to the sport like no one had ever seen before. He won everything there was to win. He outperformed everyone else." And the legend is summed up in the story. Pele was the footballer who served as the game's ambassador, his royal dignity who would dine with popes, secretaries of state, and royals. He was friends with Nelson Mandela, and Queen Elizabeth knighted him, despite the fact that he is not of British descent. Perhaps his greatest accomplishment is that he comes from a country that produces football legends, one after the other. Nothing, however, can change the fact that Pele was the greatest Brazilian footballer of all time. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and if you have, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and enable that notification bell. We'll see you in a new video with stories from such legends. Until then, peace.